Do I really need the Series 3 Apple Watch? Do I really need the iPhone 8 Plus? Everybody, this is just my take on the newest Apple products. Now, I was just as enthusiastic as everyone else when it came to the keynote. And mostly like everybody else, I was pretty disappointed. I think that the reason why I was disappointed personally is that they were really releasing the 7S instead of a big iPhone 8 jump. I was really looking for a new flagship model being the 8 because that was logically, numerically what was expected. And instead, they skipped over what I think they skipped over and made the 7S an 8 when it really is just too similar to the 7. So that leaves us all with a dilemma. Do we update or do we wait a couple of years until Apple figures out this new technology? Now, a lot of you say that the Face ID is gimmicky, and yeah, it probably is. And there's a reason why gimmicks work. They're fun. And I don't have my iPhone or my iWatch because I'm incredibly busy or that I have a corporation that I rule over. I have an Apple Watch because I can charge it and the battery doesn't go dead. I have a drawer full of watches in my room right now that all need batteries, and that the batteries cost about $5 to put in each. And I never seem to get there to get changed. So truthfully, I got my Apple Watch out of convenience. Now this is a Series 2, and my son bought this for me. You can see. Oh, oops, sorry. Buzz Lightyear is walking across my screen right now. And I really love this watch. Now, the only real difference that I see, to me, in the new Series 3 Apple Watch is that it's got LTE connectivity, which means you would have your telephone line on your watch also. And that's great if you go running, and I can't run anymore, or you're having a more active lifestyle. But truthfully, I always have my phone. So really, I have my phone plan on my watch. I just have to keep my phone nearby me, and for me personally, that's really not a big deal. So in reality, what's my vote on upgrading from a Series 2 to a Series 3 Apple Watch? Will I or won't I? Well, I'm voting no. I'm not going to. I'm not going to update or upgrade to the Series 3 because, to be perfectly honest with you, there's no need. The Series 2 has been very helpful to me. It does all of the needs. The update to the software has been amazing. I would have liked the characters from Toy Story to have their voices, just like Minnie Mouse and Mickey do when you touch them and ask them the time. And they don't have voices and they don't have music. I think that would have been better. So maybe if Apple, if you're watching, that would be really great. I'd like that. Oh, another thing, the watch faces that came out in this, with the new iOS 4 update for the Series 2 and 1 and 3 and all these watches. The faces are great, but I would like to be able to change the faces in a way that I can make them digital or analog or have numbers on it or just have dashes where the numbers would be. I'd like to be able to make that decision. I like the kaleidoscope face, but because I can't make numbers in where they're supposed to be on a clock, which is how I prefer it, I can't use those faces. It's very difficult for me to read the time with just those little slashes and stuff. And digital is just, to me, is not really what I consider clock worthy type face. So I prefer the traditional clock face. So that's another tip, Apple, if you're listening. Okay, now let's talk about the phone. I am much more divided about the phone. and I'll explain why. I'm a couple of phones behind with iPhone. I tend to do that because they're gosh darn expensive, and I I really don't enjoy blowing a bunch of money. And my husband pays my bill, so I could upgrade. That's not a problem. I'm eligible to upgrade. I use the leasing program. So honestly, not even the price is scary to me. But if I were to get the iPhone 8, other than the camera, just what improvement is there? And from what I see, it's got this really huge chip inside, and it's like as powerful as my current MacBook Pro, which is devastating to me because what am I going to use on my watch that's on my phone that's faster than my MacBook Pro? That's a bummer. I don't know why they did that, but obviously augmented reality or something like that. So what do you do? Do you update to the iPhone 8, or do you go for the 10 in November, or do you wait till the next Apple release for phones? That's really where it's coming down to. I really don't see myself wanting to get the 8, and I'll be honest with you, it's strictly for the gimmick. Like I said before, I'm not a business owner. I'm retired. I'm disabled. There's really no need for me to have all that stuff. I have Apple products because I enjoy Apple products. This over here is a Samsung tablet, and this is not as good as an iPad Pro or an iPad. It's not. It's glitchy. It is the hardware itself is not as durable as the iPad, and yeah, and it is a whole lot cheaper. And yes, I could expand the memory by getting a SIM and putting it in. And at first, I thought that was a wonderful deal. But the problem is that uh, the hardware doesn't recognize the SIM memory quite as easily as you might think. It's not quite as fluid as internal memory that comes in the iPhones. As much as I dislike you have to pay such a premium for internal memory in the Apple products. So it all really comes down to what is it that I need and like about my iPhone. I'm not a fan of the full screen display. I find them all just black pieces of plastic, and they're not really, um, they don't really have any individual style anymore. I like to have something that has a style to it. I like to put my phone down and be able to differentiate my phone from another person's phone. And sometimes you can do that with a case, and that's true. But the full screen Apple, the iPhone 10, I don't know. I'm okay with the unibrow. That doesn't really bother me as much. Although when I started watching the videos, it really started to annoy me big time. But when you look at the phone that I have, which is the 6S Plus, um, I really like my iPhone. I like it the way it looks and stuff. So that was the only thing leading me to stick with the iPhone 8. And I could get that now if I wanted to. And the camera and the stereo speakers are actually pretty good. But I think I'm still on the fence. I can't even give you a decision in this video. I am still torn. I don't know what to do. The best news is I'm not in a hurry. My 6S Plus works great. Many people, many MacBook vloggers and Apple vloggers have said, you don't really need to. There's not really much difference between the 6S Plus and the 8 Plus. So that's good. Now, is there anything that would cause me to want the 10? Yes. I like the Animojis. I really like the Animojis. In fact, when I saw that, I was like, Apple, take my money. I really love that idea. However petty or stupid the Android people think that is, which is fine. My entire family is Android people. My children are complete Android people. And that's okay, let them be. I was an Android person. I have an Android tablet. I had a Samsung Galaxy S5, I think. It was a piece of garbage. Had to trade it in like 3 times until they just said, you know what, just sell it. And I did. It wasn't a very good phone. Now, some of them, the newer ones might be better, and that's okay, but I really enjoy the Apple interface, and it's the ecosystem. You really have a comfort in the Apple ecosystem, and I'm fully invested in the Apple ecosystem. And to continue in that ecosystem would be, I think, the best decision for me. So I'm definitely going to stay in the Apple family. I don't know quite what I'm going to do. If you have any comments or any suggestions for me, I would appreciate it. And leave a like below, okay? And maybe you can subscribe. I do so many things here, you'll never get bored. Okay, guys, have a great day.